It's just wrong, and I can't help but think that it's about making money. Saying you can't bring plastic bottles in, but you can buy water when you get in the ground.
It'll be expensive, yes.
And then it'll be expensive. And look, it's not, the tickets themselves cost a fortune, far too expensive in my view. So the ticket sales are too high, and this is the wrong policy.
Will you be writing to FIFA to ask them what they're going to be doing about this?
I would call on FIFA to just look again at this, think about it, think of the fans, they're football fans, from all sorts of backgrounds across our country, across the world. They're already spending a fortune getting there, got to pay a lot for tickets, too much in my book. Don't impose further cost on them. So I'd
Should
say...
we expect to see you there this summer,
I'd say
maybe, Prime Minister?
FIFA, look again. Well, let's see how we get on, but I will be cheering all of the way.
It's concerning. It's concerning because the heat that we're talking about is not just heat that the players are playing under, it's also the heat that spectators are going to be subjected to for arguably a longer period of time, as they will be there before the game starts and after the game finishes.
7 days before the biggest football tournament on the planet, FIFA quietly banned water bottles, not alcohol, not weapons, water, in 90 to 100 degree heat in open-air stadiums, and they called it a safety measure. The backlash was instant, and it came from both sides of one of the most hostile borders in the world right now. Here's everything that happened.
FIFA have just banned refillable water bottles from the World Cup. Yes, you will no longer be able to take in a bottle and refill it with water during the searing heat and humidity of the World Cup. Up until yesterday, you could do that. Up until yesterday, the guidance from FIFA was you could take in an empty, transparent, refillable water bottle up to a litre big to refill with water. Yesterday, they said, no, actually, that's banned. No, you can't do that. That's really risky, apparently, to the players and attendees. No, now you will have to buy every water bottle that you want, because, of course, if you buy a water bottle, you're far less likely to throw it at a player than if you took one in yourself. Now, the Football Supporters Association have come out and said this is a real problem. They said the heat and humidity expected at this World Cup is a real concern for fan welfare, and that should be the priority of FIFA, not selling water bottles at inflated prices, as they put it. Obviously, if you're in the UK, you'll be aware anywhere that's permitted to sell alcohol, that's licensed to sell alcohol in the UK, legally has to provide free tap water. That won't be the case at the World Cup, so make sure that you have plenty of money to spend on keeping yourself hydrated and alive, because that's the situation that we're currently in. It's all cracking stuff, isn't it?
FIFA, stop playing it on my face. FIFA has officially banned reusable water bottles at the 2026 World Cup. You know why? You know the reasoning that they're saying is because they can be used and thrown onto the field and cause injury and harm. So you're telling me it has nothing to do with the fact that, if people don't bring reusable water bottles, we can sell more water, we can sell more items.
Nobody's talking about what FIFA just did 7 days before the start of the World Cup. They banned water bottles. Empty, translucent, reusable water bottles were explicitly allowed in the Stadium Code of Conduct. 7 days before the first match, FIFA reversed it. And their reason was, fans might throw them. Now here's what makes this dangerous. Not greedy, dangerous. These are open-air stadiums in June and July. Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Miami, MetLife, where the wind never blows. 20 experts sent a letter to FIFA saying that their heat safety measures are inadequate. Temperatures at 14 of 16 host cities are expected to be dangerous levels. 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit with heavy humidity in the stands. On the field, the real field can get up to 130 degrees. A professor from the University of Sydney said banning water bottles will clearly heighten the risk of heat-related injuries. FIFA's answer is buy water inside. They said it won't be higher than it normally is at these venues. The same organization that priced their tickets to $10,000 for the final match, do you trust that? And if you're spending $2,000 to $4,000 for a ticket and you're throwing it onto the field, you really need to have your head checked. This isn't a safety policy. This is a revenue policy dressed up as a safety policy.
Remember in the build-up to the Qatar World Cup, there was this strong agenda against Qatar hosting the World Cup because they were doing it in December. The reason they done it in December was so that the heat doesn't affect the players and so that they can perform to the best of their abilities. But they're keeping it quiet now how the players are complaining in their warm-up games in America about the heat and how much they're struggling. And then people complain that Qatar banned alcohol in the stadiums. Yes, they did that. And those who attended said they had the best experience and actually remembered the games. But then What they're doing in America and keeping quiet conveniently is that you cannot refill your water bottles. If you want to refill your water bottles, you have to buy a brand new one. So making more money out of us because they've already done a madness with the tickets as well. But the ticket prices in Qatar were considerably cheaper, but the media are staying very quiet about that. And to top it off, the BBC, they didn't want to broadcast the opening ceremony and the actual handing over of the trophy to Argentina because of their bias against Qatar and in the Middle East. So I'm expecting the same level of energy now with America, given what they're doing. And I'm not even going to get into the political aspect of it because the Iran war was meant to be done ages ago, but that's still going. But somehow they'll try and convince you that this will be the best World Cup ever.
Football's coming home, and for many football fans, they might be coming home thirsty because FIFA have banned supporters taking in refillable water bottles into stadiums. I mean, why would you want your supporters to stay hydrated when you could just let them have sunstroke in temperatures of 30 degrees? FIFA say it's not for them to make extra money, even though they're going to charge fans an extra £5 to £10 per bottle of water, as they're already charging up to £450 for a ticket for each match. They say they're doing this ban for the safety of the players because they don't want fans to throw reusable bottles at the pitch. Let me tell you, after families of fans have spent thousands on travel, accommodation and food at the World Cup, no one has got any money left to throw a £20 reusable water bottle at a player on a pitch, no matter how bad that player is playing. And to make matters worse for fans, FIFA are putting in a 3-minute water break every 22 minutes into the match for every player, so that fans can just stare and watch football players take a sip of an overpriced bottle of premium water and then just sling it away. For fans, it doesn't rain, it pours. And for that, FIFA will be charging extra.
This decision by FIFA is downright criminal. It's going to get someone killed. ¿Ustedes saben el calor de Miami? Do you know how hot it gets in Miami? Not only the fact that scientific reports have already been published saying that Miami's World Cup games are going to be some of the hottest in this tournament and that are the most susceptible for the players and the fans to get heat exhaustion and heat stroke. You know that you have to walk the distance, that whatever distance we need to walk to get into Hard Rock Stadium, maybe half a mile, none of it's shaded. So not only are you already arriving to the stadium with symptoms of heat exhaustion, potentially heat stroke, now you're going to have to buy water at the stadium, and we don't even know at what price, which is the other part of the criminality of this decision. They didn't tell the fans how much they're going to charge for water at these stadiums. And again, I'm not talking to the 20, 25-year-old young bloods out here saying, well, I can deal with the weather. Yeah, you probably could. I'm talking about the 10-year-old kids. I'm talking about the 65-year-old abuelos. I'm talking about them. This is going to get people hurt. This is going to get someone killed because FIFA needs to squeeze every single pinche dollar out of our pockets in order to supposedly grow the game. FIFA, if you need that much damn cash, here's $5 freaking.
Sitting Prime Minister, a Canadian mayor, and New York City mayor all saying the same thing on the same week about the same organization. That almost never happens, especially between two countries that have barely been on speaking terms in 2026. That's not just fans ranting. Those are medical experts and supporter groups saying the same thing. When a professor of sports science and a fan group are reading from the same script, that's not panic, that's a pattern.
FIFA bans fans from taking water bottles into stadiums for the World Cup. Fans are not allowed to take a water bottle into a stadium, which, given the prices of everything and the fact it's going to be incredibly hot, is quite frankly insane. Apparently the decision was made to prevent risk and potential injury to players and attendees. What do you guys think the damage could be done with this? I don't know. So if fans aren't already being charged through the nose to go to this World Cup, now there'll probably be, what, a $5 charge for a bottle of water? On top of that, probably a tip for the person serving it.
So Zohran Mamdani continues to explode minds over how he is putting New Yorkers first, the working class first, everyday citizens over corporations, over the billionaire class. And now with this latest, with the FIFA World Cup, crazy. So New York had put something in place that water bottles would be allowed. People could bring in water bottles because it's going to be record-breaking heat and people are going to be there all day long. And there were parameters around it so people wouldn't smuggle in booze or anything like that. And then at the last minute, FIFA just said, nope, they're all being banned. And who is screaming? And he's putting all his power behind his screaming. What the fuck, FIFA? Because Zohran Mamdani knows this is a money grab. This is going to make vendors, water bottle manufacturers, plastic bottle manufacturers, you name it, wherever that water bottle passes, right down to, whoever's extracting water from the ground, this is going to make them a crap ton of profit. This is what this is about. Worse, they're going to sell it for what, $6, $7, $8? They are. And people are not going to be able to purchase as much water as their bodies need in that kind of heat. And it's going to cause cascading problems with people's health. So there's Zohran Mamdani showing us the way. Like, what other politicians stand next to us and fight with us? So, yeah, go Zohran.
Flippy floppy FIFA. They have now done a U-turn on allowing water bottles into stadiums in the US and Canada, no mention of Mexico. In case you missed what's been going on, people going to stadiums got this email saying that they were no longer allowed to bring reusable bottles into the stadium, and there was a huge backlash. Here it is. If you're going to matches, you'll be allowed to bring in one soft plastic 20-ounce factory sealed disposable water bottle into any match in the US and Canada, no mention of Mexico. So if you're going to the matches, this is their clarification. This is a big deal because more than 1 in 3 of the World Cup matches are going to face dangerous heat. So by pricing people out of hydration, that would have been problematic. So now the rules have changed. We are expecting extreme heat stories across the World Cup, possibly impacting performance and definitely impacting spectators, so watch out.
FIFA reversed course within 48 hours. One sealed, disposable, 20-ounce plastic bottle per fan. No reusable bottle still. They called it a clarification. The fans called it what it was. Now let's talk about the full picture. Here's what actually happened, start to finish. FIFA had a policy. It said fans could bring a transparent reusable bottle up to 1 liter into the stadium. That policy existed as recently as 3 weeks before the tournament. Then, without consultation, without notice, they quietly swapped it out. The new policy said reusable bottles were banned. Their reason? Fans might throw them at players. Now think about that for a second. These are fans who paid anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars for a ticket. Fans who booked flights, hotels, and travel packages months in advance. FIFA is saying that those same people, having spent that kind of money, are likely to hurl a water bottle onto the pitch. That argument doesn't hold up, and everyone could see it. What this was really about is the only company selling water inside those stadiums, Coca-Cola, one of FIFA's longest-standing sponsors. No outside bottles means every drop of water consumed inside that venue is a sale. Multiply that across 104 matches, across millions of fans, in record-breaking summer heat, and you're not talking about loose change. So the only water you can buy inside the stadiums comes from a single FIFA sponsor. And FIFA says the pricing will be consistent with normal venue rates, from the organization that charged $10,000 for a World Cup final ticket. But here's where it gets interesting for anyone watching the news in 2026. The US and Canada are not in a good place right now. Trade wars, tariffs, sovereignty disputes. These two neighbors have spent most of this year taking shots at each other. And yet, when FIFA dropped this policy, something unusual happened. Politicians from both countries, a Canadian mayor, a New York City mayor, health officials from Toronto, all came out and said the same thing. This is a money grab. This puts fans at risk. Reverse it. And FIFA did. That matters because it shows that when host nations push back with one voice, even FIFA blinks. Canada has spent most of 2026 asserting itself against outside forces trying to dictate terms on its soil. The US, for all its internal noise, had local leaders doing exactly the same. For 1 week, over a water bottle, North America was unified, and it worked. The ban is partially reversed. Reusable bottles are still out, but fans can now bring one sealed bottle in. It's a small win, but in a tournament where FIFA holds almost all the cards, it's worth noting who forced their hand. And that's the story. Not just a water bottle controversy, a window into how FIFA operates, who pushes back, and what it takes to make them move.
Okay, so let me get this straight. FIFA is banning fans from bringing reusable water bottles into the World Cup stadiums and saying it's for safety reasons, forcing fans to buy plastic water bottles inside the venue. For a country that prides itself on environmental leadership, doesn't that seem a little strange?
So what do you all think? Do you think the partial reversal is enough? Or is FIFA still getting away with too much? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.